Yo, is the mic on mic? Into that mic on mic, and pour us another one. Let's do it right though, Mike. We feeling nice though, Mike. Gather round, gather round. Into that mic on mic. Into that mic on mic. Yeah, Garage Drinks with Mike. Woo!
Mr. Wiki, welcome to the garage.
It's been too long, Doggo. It's been too long.
Thank you, sir.
When we are.
Malo.
Ooh, that's got a bite. Woo! That's got a bite, mate.
There it is.
There it is.
That's some good cover.
That's a good cover.
You can hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah. Man, thanks for coming in.
It's been too long, Doc.
It's been a few years,
busy,
eh?
bro.
It's been a few years.
It has, bro.
But man, the best way to always catch up with you is over a bowl of kava.
Have to, mate. Have to. It would be. It wouldn't be right if we didn't have the bowl, bro.
Yeah. How you been?
Been good, Doggo.
Yeah.
Been good. Busy with the gym, as we spoke about earlier. Took that leap of faith and followed our dream that we started back in 2008. Out of a garage, and it's kind of expanded. Now we've got a building, and there's been struggles with the COVID, but it's come through, and our people have stayed with us.
Yeah, right. And we're talking about the hay.
Yep, the hay. Wikiworks,
or they call it Wikiworks.
Wikiworks Fitness
Yes.
is the main, but with the nickname, it's called the hay because it's on Hamish Street in Otara.
Otara. Fantastic. Yeah, definitely. Because this was you're born and raised.
Born and raised, bro. So it's come full circle. Full circle.
And you're back there again. But you'd be wanting to do that for quite a long time beforehand, hadn't you? Yeah.
We've had discussions in the past about getting our own place and giving back to our people. We went through that phase with Ludus. I thought that suited me because of that gladiatorial role. Just finishing professional Rugby League and then converting to that environment was perfect. But it just didn't fit.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it just wasn't be. You had to try something out, Doggo.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't the right fit for me.
Yeah. But I'm glad that everything's meant to be.
Absolutely.
Because maybe if it had gone down that route, it might not have been the right thing, and it might have.
Yeah.
But now you're at your own place where you're happy with, and your own brand, your full own brand.
Well, that's what the wife was saying. It's you got to use your name, and it's not going to last for as long as you think. But if I put the effort in and look after myself and promote myself as part of the business to get more people active, then that suits me to a T.
And how are you finding running your own gym?
Well, it is different,
yeah.
But the technicality part of the stuff is, the logistics is Santa.
Okay.
And we have a marketing team,
okay,
which helps Santa put all our plans together, or our concepts or youth programs that we initiate at the gym. And I just make sure the coaches are sticking by the rules and the standards are met every session. So we're pretty OCD, man, at the gym. Really OCD.
In what way?
Well, we're like, with the gym, we treat it like our house. It's got to be clean. Make sure we wipe down due to the COVID hit the last 3 times at the gym. So we're going to make sure everyone comes to the gym are not sick. So due to what's happened in the past, so if they have any sense of a flu or anything, we advise them to stay away until they're right.
Of course.
Go get a checkup.
Yeah.
Because just at the car park, we got our COVID testing there. And just cleanliness is a
massive part of
good visual for people coming into a gym, right? They feel at home. The kids come in, they go to the back, got a TV set up with Netflix.
Cool. Yeah.
There's books there for them to read. When the classes start, the kids are not allowed on the floor.
Yes,
because of health and safety reasons.
On a kettlebell.
Yeah. Doing those TikTok movements with the kettlebell. But so we don't mind being OCD because it passes on to our coaches and then our family, our Wikiworks members see that, so they know they need to wipe down the gears and put it back in the right spots. If it's not facing the right way, you're gonna get a word from me, mate.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We don't want that.
You've got the wall balls along the wall there. You know, it's got all the numbers on it.
Facing out.
Facing out, and like parallel in the line. You know, so if I see them all off.
I love it.
Hey. But
that's really good. That's really good.
So strict rules on standards, like when you come in, you must have a towel. You must be on time. And if you're going to cancel your class, cancel it on our Influx app. If you don't cancel, that means you've done a no-show.
Right.
So there's consequence there.
What's the consequence?
Oh, it's 20 burpees. If you don't bring a towel, 20 burpees if you are late.
Yeah.
20 burpees if you don't show up.
Yeah.
And if you leave anything at the gym, for any gyms out there, if they leave anything at the gym, it goes on.
Everybody always leaves stuff at
gyms.
Yeah. Collects.
Jerseys,
Jerseys, towels,
last year
water
we had a
bottles.
whole box of like lost and found stuff. So we just tossed it. So if you leave something at the gym, say you left your hat at the gym, put it on the page. Yeah, everyone can comment, emoji, whatever. You got 60 minutes, and if no one's owned up to it, whatever the comments and the emojis and likes, that's how many burpees you do.
Who does? Oh, the person that lifted it, of course.
So if you left your hat there and you didn't comment on the whole lot, so there's 60 comments, 60 burpees for you.
Well, it's good because you're building like a community that's quite tight, like a
and
ship shape.
Oh yeah, and some of the members are ruthless. You know, they do the one word comments. So, oh my God, why did they're ruthless, dog. But it's a safe environment, and they mock each other, but it's within reasons, you know, without
safe environment.
Spirits,
Well, that's really good. Yeah,
but it's good, man. I'm loving this journey.
Yeah,
loving this journey.
And you've built a really good membership as well.
Yeah, brother. Yep. So we started four members in a garage. Like this,
okay.
Like this, brother.
Yeah.
In 2008, it's expanded from 4 members to just over 100, mate. So we must be doing something.
Something right? I like this. Ruben bought this, by the way. This is but I like because I made a collection of these when I was at high school.
Yep.
In 5th form, so I've got a collection of about 20 of these.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah. But I know that this is a bovine Nil. So this is one of the really big, and this is also used by the ancient Tongans for water as a water carrier, which is very different, obviously, from the smaller coconut shell. It's very impressive. Yeah.
Well, that one came from Fiji, from one of the members. So what do you give Ruben Wiki? You give him a ladle.
Damn straight. Hello.
My doggo. Wow.
That's smooth, eh?
That is nice, eh?
That is.
Uho Kava, eh?
This is Vava'u Kava,
Yeah, that's their crew. They're good
crew. You buy from them often?
Yeah, they look after us like once a month.
Oh, yeah.
And usually we have our little get-togethers, me and Motu Tony.
Yeah.
Motu Tony's at the gym as well, so we reminisce big time on the Kiwi cover sessions. Massive.
Yeah. To do this podcast, I had to read up a little bit on you. Like, I've known you for years, but I just wanted to know other things as well, or what other people had talked to you about and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, I think probably you're most commonly known, maybe not commonly known, but probably mostly known for always having kava after games. Was that notorious throughout your career? Something that you do habitually? Yeah,
so something that was introduced after we won the grand final in 1994.
To you by who?
Raiders. So from Noah Ndruku.
Okay.
So he was our winger back in
Fijian.
in the day. Yeah, Fijian days. So when we won the grand final, so you celebrated with the trophy and everything. The second day, we went to the pub. The Kava bowl turned up. Never seen one.
Yeah.
Turned up, like the Fijian embassy bought the Kava bowl and the Kava, brought it into the pub, and Noah started mixing it. I said, "Oh, what's this? Oh, wow!" and really enjoyed it. But it wasn't until later in my career that I took it more seriously.
Yeah.
You know, just for recovery, and like I was mid 20s, and where we lived in Canberra, in Queanbeyan, there was a lot of Polynesians, and the Kava ceremony was pretty massive in the Fijian community there. So we started hitting that on a Sunday after games, and it just became a ritual for me for recovery.
For recovery?
Yeah, just like for the aches and pains, all the bumps and bruises, you know. And I did some research on it, and there's an ingredient in the actual root that they use in anti-flams.
Right.
Called coxy.
Right.
So that ingredient is in the anti-flams that you use, like Otara and stuff. So I thought I would just do the natural way. And
you feel better the next day.
Yeah, but you know, you're hydrated due to the water, you have a good sleep. You know, it's good for stress. And just gets your body ready for war again, you know.
So how often do you have it now?
I still try to get it once every fortnight.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Just the end of the week, you know. It's probably more to Tony more than anything else, you know. He's like, hey, no, also let's have a cover. We've got to train first, you know. But it's still right amongst my stress reliever, big time.
Do you think adversely, like on the other side of it, is there benefits or is there non-benefits to like having it too much?
Well, I know the Polynesians, or they like to have the benders on the cover, and you know, I think the history is spoken for itself. If you have too much of it, it's not going to be good for you. So like in moderation, it's fine. So I wouldn't be drinking this every day.
Yeah,
because
right.
I wouldn't get no work done. Like that.
It can make you feel quite lethargic and quite tired.
And relax. You know, you just want to lay back, listen to some music.
Yeah.
Don't want to listen to anybody. So it's not good in the house, man. But you just got to have the timing is important when you're having Kava sessions.
And who you have with as well.
And a good environment, a good crew to enjoy the Kava. So we actually got one tomorrow. We're going to the Kava 4 Shells. So Kava 4 Shells, we'll see you tomorrow. Nice. All our Wikiworks men are shooting out for a get together. Yeah. Just a chat. Yeah. Health and wellbeing. You know, it's big in our gym, just to check on the men's mindset and what's going on in their lives. You know. Yeah. You know, within a safe environment. Sure. If they want to talk about sweet as, if they don't, all good.
So you do that with the men in your gym how often?
So it's every couple of months.
Right.
So our last one was curry night, but the Kava was there.
Yeah. And where do you do this? At the gym, or you have a certain place?
No. The last one was in Howick. Okay. So tomorrow is at Kava 4 Shells. Yeah. So just shout out to them for hosting us. So get it out there, but I think it's very necessary for the men of the house to.
It's so necessary
to express. Yeah. You know, just in case there is something going on. Yeah. Then we can either support it. Yeah. Or find someone who can help.
So let me ask you this: like when you do have these sessions, do you guys talk about things that are happening? They do.
Yeah, they do.
Without getting too specific, what are some of the common things that you'd hear from them?
Well, so you go back to the lockdowns. A lot of people lost their jobs, right? So how do they cope? By supporting their family financially. That's just one scenario. Or depression. It's common, mate. And the best cure for that is to nip it on the bud and talk about it. So you can get over that hump, and we can find help to direct you in the right pathway. You know,
sometimes I find like it's easy like talking about mental health and stuff, but when you actually come to like talk about it, like if you're trying to talk to your mate or something about it, it's actually quite hard to bring the words out, to try and describe it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know, bro. And it's just got to be it's got to just be real talk, not like trying to be a psychologist or whatever, like that. You just want someone to listen.
Yeah.
And maybe you might have the answer, you know. We're not perfect. No one's perfect, and we all need help in different areas, you know. So even like for professional athletes, you know, take myself, take Kev, everyone goes through it, man. And it's just how we deal with it and get over that hump.
Yeah.
And like having like supportive partners like Santa and Latai through those journeys, man. Like as professional athlete, there's a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of
you're already under a lot of pressure. What
needed to perform and obligations as a star, you know, like in your chosen sport. So how do you deal with that all? And when it's gone, then what happens?
Yeah,
you know, how do you deal with not being center of attention?
Yeah,
you know, you can see Kev's all good with that, and I'm all good with that. So but somewhere along the path, we would have hit a hurdle when it comes to the end of our season. What do we do next, you know?
Yeah.
So just having a plan B helps.
Perfect. Because I wanted to talk to you about that. So the transition from from working as a professional athlete, you know, to coming out of it, making that decision to retire. How hard was it to make that decision to retire? Because how old were you at the time?
35.
Okay.
So in Rugby League terms, that's pretty old.
Right.
So in 2008, I was the oldest in the NRL. I don't know if that's
I don't think that's still the case.
I don't know if that's a stat.
Do you think it's still the case now?
They're a bit older now.
Yeah.
The games get a lot faster.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready to retire. It was kind of a business decision from the club's point of view.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't ready to go.
Okay.
So there was a lot of it was a tough year, you know, like mentally and physically, emotionally, for myself to be asked to retire when I wasn't ready on my own terms. So it was a tough year, that 2008, and it.
Did you have any other offers from other clubs?
Well, I was still contracted to the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see the season out and see what happens after that. But I felt good, you know. Body was fine, but we weren't doing too well at the Warriors, and you know, had to point the finger at somebody. So pick on the old fella. And they wanted me to retire early, and I wasn't ready. And I was on 298 games. So it was like, man, just let me pay 300. Nah, I just want you to go.
Surely.
So it was a tough period. We talk about depression, everything, right. You know, it's just boom, hit me. So I started getting negative to the media.
Yeah.
I didn't treat the media right.
Right.
I disrespected the media on the way I was feeling. So I spoke to the people I trust, like the wife, my kids, my coaches from the past, people I really trust their opinion, you know, value their opinion. So, and they just said, just be yourself, you know, and keep playing footy. And so I went to reserve grade, played reserve grade. They thought I wouldn't play reserve grade,
right,
because of my status.
Right.
I said, I don't care where I play. I just want to play. So I went down there for one game, and then they called me back up to play because they were short of players. And so I told the boys, this is going to be my last hurrah. And the boys were angry.
So you couldn't have left them to go play for another club? You couldn't have?
Nah. And I didn't want to leave because when I'm committed to something, I want to finish it. So you know me, man, it's like, I want to finish this. And so I came back to first grade, I told the boys, and then we had that run to the finals in 2008. We all grew the beards. We went that Spartan path, get this guy to the 300 game, final farewell for a farewell. And we ended up just missing out by one game in the grand final. But it's a weird ride, man. It's heaps of twists and everyone's careers, you know, on that top level when you get to your peak. but it's just how you cope with it. Instead of getting negative, just trying to turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
And I did that. And
how did you do that? How did you turn that into a positive?
Well, there was more like talking to the people I value, and then just playing footy the way I play footy, without worrying about all the extra constraints on the outside, or the noise, you know. So I just focused on that. Went back to respecting the media, because they want a story.
They got a job to do.
Yeah, they got a job, and you know that's their job. So yeah, just went back to that guy that they love so much, you know. So and brought out the best of me in the games, and we had a good run. And then at the end of the last game, just that was it, you know. It was sad, but I was going to go to England, but I thought, I'll just focus on the next chapter.
Yeah, right. And so you made that decision to join their coaching staff.
The next year.
Yeah. So was that an easy decision to make, or?
Well, you know, as I said, it's like got to be a professional. You know, they wanted me as a assistant strength and conditioner. Yeah. So that's the path I was going down anyway. So I was studying while I was playing, and it was a perfect opportunity for me to learn off the other strength and conditioning coaches, and it was also to be a mentor for the next players coming through. And that was, I was there for years.
Find it hard coaching and watching them playing, and you can't be on the field with them?
Well, I was running the water, so it felt like I was part of it. But sometimes you get carried away with the messages. But that's just how much I loved the game and missed it. Yeah. But yeah, we got the best out of them with, just giving them what I knew and how to improve their game. So if they wanted to listen, I can't really force them to listen to me, but
I think you can. Okay, and so when did the idea come about to start Wikiworks?
In 2008.
2008.
So just starting a hobby in the garage with the missus and a few friends. Yeah. Just, get them active.
Run some good classes.
Yeah.
You ran some of the best classes I've ever been in.
Oh, it's all functional, making it...
a lot of it's your music as well, Rubes.
You go to the playlist, docs.
Got that playlist on lock.
Hasn't changed. People come into training and they bite their lip and they said, let's go. But it's more like listening to our members. You don't have to flog the crap out of them, You got to actually teach them some skills,
sure,
and the movement, why we're doing this movement, and make it fun. You got to have those games in there, break up, icebreakers, and the music is important. But sometimes you need that little ACD or something just to give them a little rev. But come stretch time, it's Johnny Gill.
What I remember from you is I think you're probably one of the best mentors for me as a trainer, and doing your classes just opened up my eyes to a different way of how classes could be run.
Yeah.
And how you can get members to push themselves without you having so much to be yelling at them, or you can tap into the way they think. They can tap into it, and they find ways to push themselves beyond what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And then the feeling afterwards, obviously there's that massive rush, after you do a hard workout. But with your classes, with Wiki Love, different. It's feeling of accomplishment, self-accomplishment, and realizing that you've done things. Because a lot of people would walk in and see the board and be like, "Oh, no, I can't do that. It's too heavy. It's too hard." They work through it and they find that they can. And you have a way of guiding people through that, which is I can only describe as it's real leader values. Of guiding a class through things like that.
So nurturing for me. So, solo parent growing up, mum's always nurtured us to be respectful, to share with our or whoever we come in contact with, and never speak down to. Just always respect the people. So, and like when we're taking classes, there is a little bit of mocking, but it's harmless stuff. But it's put the set up. They look at it, and as you said, they go, "Wow, we're not going to be able to do this." But during the sessions, you give them confidence to get through it, just by acknowledging them that I'm actually focusing on you, and like get that eye contact. You can do this, you know, and that's taking it just one step further than an average trainer would do. You know, I know the PTs, they have their one-on-one stuff, but when you're in a group, you got to share that, and make sure it's evenly shared, and not just focusing on the fitter ones. You know, so you know we're big on no egos at the gym and keeping it like a family, keeping that connection with high fives all the time. You know, and it just makes them special.
Feel valued.
And valued, yeah. And it's, for that session, you're going to be the star of the class, in my eyes anyway. Have to. And that's, everyone will feed off that. So we also got another saying in our gym is, no one gets left behind. You know, it's something, if someone's still going, everyone will jump in and just help
support that person to the end. Yeah,
right till the end. You know, we got the big on our logos, pain is weak to sleep in the body. They see that, they're hurting a little bit, but they'll get through it. You know, we always make sure the sessions are structured and achievable, but no, they'll be pushed.
When you say the shorter ones, at your 30-minute sessions?
Yeah. So the 30-minute sessions probably only go, so
20?
You got the skill, about 15 minutes is the main set, and they have a little warm down. But when you got our 45-minute sessions, it's the same thing. You got the bulk of the session is probably 20 to 25 minutes. Then you got the skill factor, then you got the warm down. So it's just covering all bases. But making it fun.
Making it fun is quite important.
Always.
You were just talking before about your mum. So obviously I think everyone pretty much knows you're from Otara, South Auckland, born and raised. But I wanted to know, so when you were growing up, what sort of jobs did your mum used to do? So mum had a few jobs actually. So she worked at a nail factory making nails. She worked at a donut shop, a donut factory. So wouldn't say it was nutritionist, but it is what it is, you know. So if it is breakfast, lunch and tea, it's donuts, it is. Chocolate eclairs, you know, the cellulums, you name it. So she just did what she had to do for us three. There's three of us, so a sister and a brother, and she did awesome, man. Considering the circumstances. And I actually left school early. I left at 5th form to go get a job to help pay the bills. So. And what job was that? What job was
I worked at a steel mill in Wellington, so I was lifting steel. And
what was it called?
Stuart Steel. On Gabberall Place. 10 Gabberall Place. But it's Vulcan Steel.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's grown. And so I was the youngest at the steel mill, and so it was good, man. It was just a lot of physical stuff, which is tied into the training, which was perfect, and just helping. Well, before that was actually working with mum at Ajax first, and then which is just down the road from the Stuart Steel. Then I went to Stuart Steel after that.
I used to work at just off Panama Road in Mount Wellington. But aluminium. Is it aluminium? Full of islanders in Māori, but lifting aluminium.
Was it on Carbine Road?
Just off, it was Carbine Road.
Carbine Road,
Lifting aluminium at night.
Because you know the big, is it the tip top? So Gabberall's just off Carbine. Off Carbine Road there. There's a little food bar on the corner.
Heaps of islanders work down there.
But you do what you have to do.
You do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do to support.
And
that's what I did.
I worked there for like maybe a year, nearly 2 years. The thing that hit me though was that like my night shift, my graveyard shift was just, you become so close, you become like family with those boys. But for the rest of my shift, this was it.
Oh yeah.
This is it. Like that really struck me, you know, like because I'd work there, but my mind would always be like, what am I going to do, Mike? What are you going to do? What are you going to do next? This is like a stepping stone. This is like my pause point.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know? But like I love those boys, man. Like Tongan, Samoan, Māoris. I love those dudes. But I knew like we worked for the week and then we'd probably drink on Friday. But this is it. This is their life. Like
just on like
that's it.
Groundhog.
One of them might want to be a supervisor. But that's it. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I respect that. You know. But I always had like a curious mind that was like, what am I gonna do next, Mike? What am I gonna do next?
You wanted that extra leap, that.
Well, it was minimum wage. It was minimum wage, and
yeah.
I wanted more. Like I really wanted more. And I remember getting a pay rise there. The pay rise was, I think it was 17 cents. 17 cents.
That's massive.
Yeah. And well, it worked out to be like an extra block of cheese, I think, in our shopping. But like those sort of life lessons, they really sort of develop who you are. And so obviously when you're working there at 15, but you're already playing at the time as well, eh?
Yeah, I was in playing local, bro. So like 15, 16, work with mum, just doing cleaning up in the factories and that. 17, 18 is Stuart Steele came into play. And this time I was like just living down the road. We lived there with our auntie, so we moved in. Mum was a bit of a gypsy, so we had just to cope with what we had, you know. And my auntie lived down Carbine Road, so I just walked to work, do the stuff, and I was the youngest at work. The money was pretty good, you know, for a young guy. And it's funny, I actually ran into Gary and Mary, the guys, the people that own the business, a couple of years ago. Saw me at the airport. And I saw them and I said, oh my gosh, they've been following my career. And I was like, I remembered them. You know, I remember both of them, and I was like, I just want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity. And they said, oh mate, it was one of those nostalgic moments, you know. A few years ago, I was still in my 40s, and like haven't seen them for like 22 years. You know? It's crazy. I just want to say thank you. You know, they gave me the opportunity. They didn't have to.
That's right.
You know, but and then from then on, went to Canberra, man. After that.
How old were you when you went to Canberra, when you first got that contract?
1992, so 19.
19.
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
Did you have any other offers at the time, or was it strictly just Canberra?
So we just finished the Pacific Cup. Pacific Cup is big in Rugby League, and it was at Carlo Park, and I was playing for the New Zealand Māoris. Had a lot of scouts come over and pick up some players, you know, so they picked me up, Kuna Pongia, Johnny Lomax, Sean Hoppe has already went over there, Noah Njuku, Steve Kearney's from there, you know, heaps. Jimmy Fakoso for the Tongan team, he went to Canberra as well. So that was the stepping stone for all of us to step into the ARL back in those days. And heaps of scouts came over and plucked a few out, you know, and one of them said, well, this kid's like a young version of Mal Meninga. I said,
I heard that. I saw that.
I was like, whoa.
And then at the time, that was your role model.
Exactly. He was a mentor. Well, he was my idol, sorry. But Tim Sheen wasn't keen on the idea.
Right. Why is that?
Well, he said, he's too slow.
Right.
So you look at Mal. Mal wasn't fast, but he was smart. You know, so they took a gamble. So I went over, took Santa over, and my little brother, and we're only supposed to go for 2 years, just to see what it's like, play a bit of footy, and I don't know, come home.
But it didn't turn out to be 2 years.
No. It's crazy, eh?
What was it like first going over there? Like, you know, when it's just you and Santa, and is it David?
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah. And who are you staying with? Are you staying just the three of you, your own little place, or?
Well, this is This is when you get the book out. But we actually stayed in a hotel for about 3 months.
Okay.
Just trying to find our feet, get a job.
Yeah.
So all of us had to work, and I had to put David into school. Santa worked at the Queen Bee Leagues Club, which he did some waitering, and I went into work at a tile shop, in the stores, just doing all.
Why is that? I don't think many people understand that in today's day and age. Why did you need to work at the same time you're playing for a club?
It was semi-professional, mate.
Right.
So it's not like now you don't have to work.
Yeah.
So we had to have a job and then train after work. And that's how it's always been, even at their level. So the likes of Malmaninga, then they were sales reps, so they were working as well. So yeah. So when you do see the stats of the Winfield Cup, they say Malmaninga 25 sales rep, that's their occupation. It's not professional athlete.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's back in the days, bro.
It's so true, it brings up their real job and what they do, and so farmer, so shea milker. Yeah.
So like nowadays they don't have stats like that.
They definitely
Everyone's
don't.
under the same banner.
Yeah.
But you had to do the.
So everyone's got a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, and then we all train at night time, and that went on for another 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Then Super League came in.
Yeah.
Then it became professional.
Right.
Because there was money going around like, freaking lollies, mate.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it takes it to another level where people don't have to work.
Yeah.
So they're training full time. So obviously
training.
it takes the game to another level as well.
And the standards and the expectations go to another level on top of that. So learning from the best in the game, you have no choice but to fit into that criteria. So work on your pass, work on your kick, work on your tackle, make sure it's you're spot on. Because if you don't, you won't be in the team.
Right.
And we had a lot of egos in our team, man. They're like Mel Meninga, Laurie Daly, Ricky Stewart, who expected perfection.
Right.
Because they wanted to win, and the past speaks for itself. They're a winning team. So I had to learn that pretty quick, eh?
Yeah.
Giving the perfect pass to Ricky Stewart, or else he's going to give you a blow up. So that was for me as a Polynesian Maori. How do I cope with him yelling at me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my work on.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
They're trying to make you a better person, a better player.
Find that quite hard?
It was hard in the beginning.
I can imagine, because it gets to you,
Yeah, it was hard in the beginning. So then it came to a stage, and then I said, "Well, yeah, sweet, take it on board, and just go whack someone." And then you earn the respect by doing something positive. So I used to take blokes out at training and
during training. I think it's quite interesting that you were in that transition of like when it went from semi-professional to professional. So when when you're in that transition and it became professional and you're getting paid full time, you don't have to have like a day job anymore. Did it all of a sudden feel awesome that you can just do this every day, all day? Or did it feel the other way where it was like, oof, the pressure's on now?
Yeah, I think it was both.
Right.
Both mindsets on that one, bro. Because I still wanted to work, but I didn't have to work because training was my work.
Yeah. Why did you want to work?
Well, it's the way it's been, from day dot.
Okay.
So, growing up with mum and you had to work to
So it felt a bit weird.
Yeah. So just to go into training, that's my job. I said, well, buy a car. I said, far out. I bought my first car over there. And that was a real eye-opener, Like, had to get my license.
Yeah.
Things you need to do to drive a car. Learning skills, mate, that you pick up. But, just adapting to being a professional rugby league player was training was your work. So working on your tools is you. Working on your to be better every day. So, I had to do that. So it took a while to adapt to it, not working, and just going to train to work. But I knew where they were coming from. You know, this is your craft.
Yeah.
So you need to work on it to be the best. And that's why I didn't come back.
Right.
I stayed because I knew if I did go home, I'll go back into catching up with my mates.
Right.
Work, play local footy, and not fulfilling my dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up staying.
Yeah. When you first went over there, obviously, because league's a massive thing over there. And so does it automatically put you in the spotlight? Because I'm sure that team as well, they're a winning team. They're all superstars. So out to the public, they're known as a certain persona. You know what I mean? And especially being in a different environment, Australia, it's completely different to being over here and how big it is. What helped you keep you on the ground, or did you, you know, what kept you grounded, like to adjust to playing for a team like that?
Yeah. So being the minority coming from New Zealand, the coach gave me some advice before I went to my first training. Make sure you find some friends outside the circle. So what he meant by that, don't be hanging around with the footy players all the time.
Right.
Go find another group of friends. They can just chill out and don't worry about the limelight stuff. So where we lived in Queanbeyan, this is where all the Polynesians migrate from New Zealand when they go to Canberra. This is in Queanbeyan. So we found a community, found some friends, and you know, one of my jobs was a removalist as well.
Okay.
And there's a lot of Polynesians in there.
Removalist?
Yeah, like furniture removalist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And there's a lot of Polynesians there. And I thought they were fresh as.
Yeah.
And then they started talking. And they had that Aussie accent. So they were like brought up in Australia, but still speak Samoan.
Yeah.
So we ended up locking on with them and become good mates. And he became one of my stagmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we got a lot of history, and I was the same vice versa. And so that was my circle outside of footy. Kept it real. Told me straight, work on that game, blah, blah, blah. Which kept you humble eyes and feet on the ground, you know. And then the group got a lot bigger. So, and then the Kava came into the play. Every Sunday we'll sit around, talk about the game. They give me some tips on what I need to work on. And I took it on, you know. It didn't matter how many games I played. I always wanted to get better.
Yeah.
You know, they kept it real.
Yeah.
Where the fans or the players would pat you on the back.
Yeah.
You know, and say, oh, yeah, good game today. You scored 4 tries.
Yeah.
But then your mates will tell you, well, you missed 5 tackles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is good on my side of things.
Yeah.
It keeps me honest, you know?
Yeah.
And
keeps you getting better.
Yeah, they know I know I need to work on stuff. Yeah.
And also it would have been invaluable because you went over there with Santa.
Yeah.
Having her beside you consistently all the time as well.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a struggle for a lot of young players who don't have that partner support, you know, when they're just coming through, breaking through. But I think that would have been...
It was good because we just started dating, Santa and I. We just started...
Before you went over?
Yeah, we just started dating. So we were like a year in a relationship, and she has military police background. So she was in the army, and she's put her career on hold for me.
Right.
You know, to come over and just take a gamble, see what happens, and then you can come back to your army after that. But it didn't happen. She ended up staying there. But she's my rock, man. You know, we always talk about our wives being at the rock.
100%, yeah.
And she is the reason why I did succeed and how far I've gotten and who I am today. I've learned so much from Santa. She's the oldest in her family. I'm the oldest in mine. But she's more outspoken than I am.
Right.
And I've learned to be more outspoken due to her.
Right.
You know, you have to, or else you're not going to get nowhere.
Yeah.
So with the brand
that
we spoke about earlier, I need to speak out.
Right.
To promote who I am and what we're trying to do.
I think it's probably because you're just naturally quite a humble person.
You
find it hard naturally to be more outspoken and sell that, which I understand.
Yeah, it's a hard, and that's why we have a marketing team.
Yeah.
So it's you know we've got an awesome marketing team. So you know we praise them all the time, and they see potential in the place where we're at the gym, and they want to see it grow. Yeah, so it's funny when you run into people, they just come at the right time for us.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very humbling, and I'm just waiting for that lotto.
We all are.
Drop the Kava ball.
We all are. We all are. We're all waiting for that lotto hit.
Mate. But you can't rely on the lotto. Damn it. But when it comes, Doko, I know where you live, mate. Oh. So I love it.
I love how you come with your own cup as well, eh?
COVID shana.
Of
When we are. Oh, so good. So good.
It is good. It is good. And then, how old were you when you had children?
Denzel's 25.
He's named after Denzel Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both on the same page on that one. Denzel, and it just suits him. You know, he's a good kid. Yeah, so we got married in '98, and the end of the year, Denzel came into the world Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Yeah, it's out of it. Yeah, crazy.
Because your wife was born on Christmas Day, is that right?
No. No. It was on Christmas Day. No.
I thought there was a reason why she was called Santa.
No, it's her dad. So I'll tell you the story.
Yeah,
Her dad's
told me this
really into the Spanish. You know, the Spanish. He's like, because he was a wolfie.
Okay.
He always talks about the Spanish coming in their boats, and I think it was after Santa Maria. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So her name is Santa Victoria. So you see Santa Victoria, the water, in like all the shops. I said, oh yeah, that's your water, isn't it? Yeah, that's my water. So, but yeah, it's her dad. He has these wild.
It's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's different.
It is different, and people just see it. Oh yeah, Santa Claus. No, that's not. It's Santa. She could be hiding.
So you had Denzel, and then you've also got a daughter as well, which you had a few years later.
Yes. So Mackenzie came in 2001.
Yeah.
And totally the opposite to Denzel. Totally. It's like, how's this work? You know, Denzel's like really petite OCD.
Right.
Where the other one.
Opposite.
But opposite.
Yeah.
But same values.
Yeah.
Beautiful kids.
Yeah.
You know, we teach about like our values when you go to other people's homes and stuff. Be respectful. They're good with that. But when they're at home, just drop their shoulders, you know. Because they're kids, eh? Yeah. But they're good kids, man. So they're good. They're still at home, and I don't think they'll be moving too far too soon. But
was it hard being a dad or being a parent when you were playing at the same time and they were so young when you were over in Australia?
So, and this is where Santa comes into the frame, and she was both to the kids.
Because you'd be travelling quite a lot.
So literally throughout the whole career, she was father and mother on tours when I was travelling.
Right.
The kids see me during the week. They see me after games. But Sana's the one that actually raised those two right until I retired. You know? So I owe so much to that woman with the kids. And now, with this new chapter, I get to spend more time with my kids, watching my son play footy, my daughter starting to play footy this weekend, and just support them as much as I can and what I need to get back, what I missed, due to trying to provide for them through professional rugby league and the house and making sure they're comfortable.
What was that like? Like if you're constantly on the road and you know that your wife is like being mum and dad to both your kids, does it make you feel guilty? Was it hard?
It's
or do you know that you're doing what you're doing is for your family?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. That's my process. Is what I'm doing is for those three, you know, to make sure they're looked after now and after, post when I go. I don't want them to struggle, so I had to put my best foot forward, doing what I do best is playing footy. And Sansa, we speak about this now, and it's a touchy subject because she did so much for the kids and the time she invested in them, and that's why now she gets to do what she needs to do, going back to school, doing the degree, and it's my turn to look after the gym and make sure the kids, well, they're adults now, so we don't have to worry about them that much, but fully focuses making sure she gets her time. You know, it's all about that balance, you know.
100%.
You got to have balance in a
balance,
marriage,
yeah.
And there's going to be hurdles, bro.
Yeah.
No worries, no marriage is perfect, but you know, that chunk of 16 years and why the kids have turned out the way they have is because of her.
That's massive.
Yeah. I'll try to hold the tears in before we'll turn the lights off.
No, I can imagine. It's, it's you must have such a deep connection to be able to do that, and the trust that must exist between the two of you as well. Be quite a strong bond.
Yeah.
See, we've got 5, but it's like a mixed batch of like just trying to help in where we can each other, and if anything I can think of, it's teamwork.
Yeah.
It's tag in, tag out, and just working together as a team to both keep our heads cool as well, and back each other on different kids and different problems and where they're at and stuff, and trying to keep up to date with everything. Absolutely. It can get quite chaotic.
Well, with 5, it would be.
Yeah, and it can occupy a lot of my mind, but it has to occupy in the right way. Like I can't let it occupy me and get me down and keep me down, you know, because I got a job to do, I got many other things to do. And so I think being a parent, and also the way families work, like your family works, every family works quite differently, you know, there's no right way.
Yeah, no, and everyone's in sync. You got to be in sync, and I think when the kids get a bit older, they start to realise we need to pay our part, you know. So we talk about paying your part, say pay your rent. No. But it's like, you know, they got things as well. It's like, man, we're trying to pay mortgage. Just be straight up with the kids there. So, well, you guys need a job because, you know, it's tough times at the moment. And it's not getting easier. So it's just do your part for us, please. You know. And they're good. They're really good. Our circle's pretty tight. You know, we have our problems, but we talk it out. You know, we hit it on the head straight away and don't dwell on it. Yeah. Because we can't afford to.
A lot of people that listen to this, like for a lot of fathers, young fathers that do listen to this, probably young mothers as well. What do you think, or from your perspective, like what helps keep a relationship consistent?
A relationship consistent? Is this with the wife or the kids in general? Okay.
Yeah, this is with your partners.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's always a tough one, and I know a lot of young couples, like they hit a couple of hurdles, call it quits, they're out.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's kids involved. You know what I mean? But they've already made that heated decision in the heat of the moment, and it's over. Or they make other decisions that they know are the wrong decisions, but they do them out of spite or out of anger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And it always comes down to making sure that both parties are on the same page. You know, we always, Santa and I always talk about compromising. You know, we can read each other. So I know when Santa's had a tough day, I'll come home and she's not talking, so I'll go about my business and do the washing or whatever. So I just know if something's bothering her. So you got to just feel the vibe of your partner. And like I think at the young stage of our relationship was we love training. So we love training together. We love going to the movies. You got to make sure those date nights are in place. You know, you got to treasure those ones, especially if you have kids. You know, we have to. especially now, it's hard to get a date night in because we're like that busy. But just finding time for us, even if it's for an hour, is going to keep us sane and talk about everyday problems. What's on your mind. What do we need to do to grow the business? All those talks, and it depending on their goals. What's her goals? What's my goals? What are we trying to achieve? So our relationship's pretty open, man. And as I said, there's going to be hurdles, and we're going to get through together. But yeah, it's not going to be a smooth ride, man.
It never is.
Never.
It never is. I think it's quite important for a lot of young people to hear as well, because I think a lot of young people, obviously they get into the honeymoon stage and stuff, and then things start to turn a little bit sour when they start to realize that the other person might have maybe a little bit of trauma that happened to them that starts to come out, feed into the relationship, but learning to ride through the rocky times, or learning to love possibly the ugly side of your partner is probably. It's quite an important part to helping sustain it through.
Oh, correct.
Because you become their safe place. You become the one person.
Yeah, from everyone else.
From the noise.
You are the one. Yeah. You are the one that keeps her sane and on track. So, Santa and I have been together since 91. It's going to the 221 now. It's like 30 years.
Wow.
And it's not perfect, but it works. We love each other and we love our kids. And we show that all the time. I don't know if it's still happening these days now, but the kids always say, "I love you" before they go, or on the phone, because you just never know.
Yeah.
They always kiss me on the cheek. Yeah. You just never know.
Yeah.
We can't promise tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we live for the now.
Yeah. And
that's even with your partner, your spouse, your best friend. You just got to acknowledge those small words, because it might not be here tomorrow.
You never know. I've had a lot of people sit there and tell me the same thing, but say that when they were growing up, this is quite a common theme that goes through. The parents never said that to them. And it strikes me as a generational thing, possibly.
Well, my mum always said it.
Always did. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Because she was mum and dad.
Yeah.
So she had to teach me how to be a man.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Nurture you as well.
Yeah. So I think I've got those traits off mum, what she went through, the hard time she went through, and it wasn't pretty, some of it. And I wanted to use that to help me be a better person, better husband, better father, better friend.
Shout out to all the solo parents out there.
Amen to that.
Well, she's done an amazing job, Ruben. She's done an amazing job. Your qualities are probably what you're known for. I reckon almost even more than as you're known as a footy star, obviously. But in today's circle, I reckon you're well known for the qualities that you give out.
And then I'll rather that attribute than the footy side of things. So I'll tell you a story. Wayne Bennett was our coach at the All Golds in 2009, and that's the one thing he said: you're a better person than a footy player. And that's the biggest compliment ever. I'd rather be known as a good person than a footy player, because fans see the footy player but don't see the person. So I'd rather that compliment any day.
Yeah.
It just represents who I am and who I represent, and my family, whoever. That's the best compliment you'll get.
Talking about that, whenever anyone clicks on YouTube and they look up your highlights reels, there are some hits in there and some things that you have done to other people. But you as a person, though, off the field, is almost the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Okay. So having to tap into that for each game, is it like a switch that you would flick each time, or how would you flick switch into that?
So for me, man, Doko, that's my job, to do what I can for my team. So as soon as I cross that line, don't get in my way, because I want the best result I can give for my team. So I'll bleed, for my team, break an arm, whatever. I don't know where they came from, but I think it's probably the survival mode that I've seen my mum go through.
Right.
You know, all the hurdles she went through and the tough times, and I use that channel and fuel me to get the result, but within reasons, within a controlled environment. You know, so I would bleed for my fellow teammates every game, even at training. Cross the line at training, don't get them away, because there's only like 13 positions, right, in the starting lineup. Right. And if you want my position, you're either going to have to knock me out or I'm going to get injured. But that's how I approached every training session, and I always warn them.
So you almost approach each training session like a game.
Yeah.
Full blast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So.
Was that a problem for your coaches?
Well, that's what every preseason before we start, I always say I'll apologize now. Like every year, I'll apologize now if I take you out. It's not personal, because you want my position. Come get it. Because that's what it is. Yeah, it's survival mode. You know, and that was right until like I was 35.
Yeah,
just come get me if you want it. You're gonna have to take me out. So I'm not giving up my jersey.
And you never got injured much either, did you?
I had a lot of holidays. What do they say now? Sabbaticals. Throughout my career.
But I remember you had I think it was like a rib injury.
Yeah, rib cartilage.
But aside from that, like you weren't niggled by too many things.
No. I had the broken arms earlier in my career.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Just I had a lot of sabbaticals through passion of the game.
Through passion of the game. I read about some of those sabbaticals.
Oh, shucks. No, they always swinger from way back, mate. Malo.
It's beautiful cover. Growing up with a mum as a solo parent, I know this probably there's a struggle that some guys have that where they don't have their dad around.
Yep.
You know, was it quite important to you to have role models, male role models, and did you have any?
Probably mum's brothers.
Okay.
You know, so mum's brothers were older version of me. So I've learned of.
And they were around quite
brothers,
a bit.
Yeah. Our family were pretty tight, and so I learnt how they treated their wives.
Right.
And they were like very, very humbling.
Takes a village. Hey.
Yeah. No, just very humbling. You know, that's always look up to my uncles and my coaches. My first coaches were a woman.
Right.
My first two coaches were women, so that's that nurturing side of things, you know, learning the game of rugby league. And then as I got older, then the men came into the picture as coaches. So other than that, you know, there was a lot of women around when I was growing up. My grandmother, my grandmothers, my mother, my aunties, strong women too. Yeah. You know, strong women. So I just took bits from every individual and just
piece them together.
Yeah, just piece them together.
And take what you need.
Yeah. And they were very, like, quiet, humbling, not too rowdy. So, yeah, I just took a little bit from each and just kind of just put that into who I am today. It's funny, I don't know. It's just didn't have many men around. Right. Nah, so.
Right. Okay. You also have like a. Ever since I've known you, and dating way back, you've always had a thing about training a lot, and training by yourself sometimes, and training up to 3-4 times a day.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think there's that survival mode. You know, I love training. You know, like when we were young, we used to run around the streets until the lights go on the street. You know, playing on the roads, playing with your mates, because it was free back then. You know, it was free activity. Where nowadays no one does that. No one does go runs on the front lawn.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
they'll be playing bull rush on that little patch out there, and I just treated that as right throughout my career. You know, taking it back to training on my own, taking road runs. I just love that serenity.
Yeah.
Training on my own, and sometimes, well, nowadays it's like my time.
Yeah.
To train on my own. You know, I always speak about this with Beulah and Tubbs and PJ. We were still close from those days at Ludus, and we always talk about those times. And you want to be different from everyone else. So to be different from everyone else, you need to do something above and beyond. So we call it going dark, but I call that like improving your skill or improving your niche. You know, going forward in whatever career you partake. You know, but it's good to just get a reminder you can train on there. You don't need any outside influence to push you to where you need to be pushed. So I know you train on your own, Doggo, and
in this garage.
Yeah, you train on your own. I've seen your videos, and they're just you.
Yeah.
You know, and you choose to do that.
Yeah, I choose it from my mind, basically.
Yeah.
To stabilize me.
There's no one else that shows it for you.
Yeah.
You choose to do that in your garage or in the lounge.
Yeah.
It's just part of who you are.
Yeah.
And as for me, that's part of who I am. Like when we do challenges, I want to lead the challenge. This is what we're doing. People want to jump on. It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
And keeps them connected. That we always talk about the health and well-being, and gets them through tough times. You know.
Also, it gives them some sort of consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like no matter what else is happening in their life
Yeah.
may be chaotic, but if you have that one thing that's consistent every day that you
Absolutely.
go to, you know, some people use meditation, some people
Yep.
use prayer, some people use different forms, you know. But for me, like training really clicked for me
Yep.
as like, and I found myself to be like a better husband, better father. Once I finished like a good set, I've had that time by myself.
Absolutely.
Sweated everything out.
Yeah.
Might have been frustrated at something. It's gone.
Yeah.
I'm clear. I'm level-headed now. I can approach things
Yeah.
reasonably, as reasonable Mike,
That's
but not at
That's
this
it.
level. You know.
yeah. Instead of being like highly strung, got all these thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
It needs to be released somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be released on the family. So
That's right.
for us, bro, it's that time to yourself to grind it out. Your space, your time, and committing to it, kind of thing, you know.
Now you're in amazing shape.
Amazing shape.
Amazing shape.
I let myself go a little bit.
Did you?
Shucks.
This is your version of letting go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're in great shape. I need you. I need you to talk about like what sort of nutrition really works well for our people, for our Pacific Island community that struggle a lot with weight and struggle a lot with like health problems and stuff. What better choices can they make? And see, I use this like when I came from Tonga, right? The only things I knew about food and training was like you eat a lot of carbs, a lot of steak, and then you hit the weights.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. And I couldn't figure out once my metabolism stopped at 24, so I started piling on all this weight. It didn't make sense to me because I thought I was doing the right things.
You're missing some.
Until somehow weirdly I
ingredients.
came across, I think, Tana
Nutrients.
Umanga's nutritional plan for when he wanted to drop weight, I think, for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
And it was just chicken and broccoli.
I know.
And that makes sense to me, but I tried it.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at what it did.
Yeah.
However, coming back to you, like what's the best advice you can give to our South Auckland community, our Pacific Island community, and Māori community about the foods they eat and what they put into their body?
Dongo, that always comes up like with our Polynesian people, our Māori people. It's like it's financially tough at these stages to feed big families, right? I think it's just more being aware of the amount
that goes in.
It goes in, you can't just eat that type of food and not put out. You know, you've got to get the balance right. So, for example, like you got a big family, it's going to be cheaper to get a box of KFC, right?
Wow, it's cheaper to get like
chicken.
a $20 pack of fish and chips from the local takeaways.
Yeah, instead of like two pieces of chicken.
Yeah, it
right?
is. Yeah.
To feed the family. So we like things. If you're going to do that, get some broccoli or vegetables on the side of that chicken.
Balance it.
You know, just to balance it out a bit. So it's like, I know it's a lot cheaper to get those meals, and because they're big families. But if they just do a little bit of research on like throwing some veggies on there, instead of soft drinks, drink water, you know, just small changes, you know, it just, if you go to the takeaway, everyone has the takeaway night, you know, I love pizza, I love ice cream, man, but you know, it's input, output. If you're just putting in and not doing any activity, how's that going to counterbalance it?
And it goes somewhere. Yeah,
it's going to go somewhere, yeah. It's somewhere right,
Yeah.
like where we're sitting now, it's just going to sit. So you need to move, even if it's a walk. Go for a walk after like dinner. But just for our Polynesian people, it's more just being aware of balance is best. You know, add the vegetables with that chicken, add the vegetables with your pizzas, drink water instead of soft drink. Go for a walk.
Small changes.
It's just small.
Small changes.
You don't have to be a professional athlete, you know, how they eat 6 times a day.
Yeah.
But it's really important you do, like,
fuel your body.
help your metabolism. You need to eat. Like, you know, we come from breakfast, lunch and tea, right? Where we need something in the middle. Because we're gonna hit a peak after breakfast, and then we're gonna dive down. So we need something to keep us up the top for our metabolism. So like a snack or something, an apple or whatever. And that's just doing the homework. But basically, for all the Polynesian families and Maori, you just got to add balance to it. The vegetables, the fruit, the exercise, and the water. You know, it's all the food groups that we always talk about. You know, depending on what you're doing, we talk about the chicken and broccoli. That's like a bodybuilding freaking regime. And I've done that bodybuilding, bro. It's not nice.
You did.
It's not nice, man.
Right. You looked amazing, though. You looked amazing.
It's not nice.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's one on the bucket list.
But you did it. Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, well, I did commit to myself, like when I was 45, I was going to do one. And then I looked at my calendar. Oh, freaking hell, I'm 45. Damn it.
Damn. Yeah,
but, you know, commit to something. Yeah. It's in your thoughts.
You're like, I got to get it done.
I got to tick it off.
Yeah.
And it was tough.
Yeah. What's the toughest part about it? The food?
Yeah, the food wasn't too bad. I think it was the last week.
Right.
The water.
The dehydration.
Yeah, taking the water away.
Yeah.
So from the Monday
start
till comp day.
Decreasing.
Yeah, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing. You know, and I was like
weak
at the event, and it was just red wine and chocolate to bring the veins out and get that pump. And I was like, no water in me, so I was half drunk.
Yeah.
But then you know, put on the show and crazy.
Hard process to go through, eh?
It was a different world, man. It took me a long time to get over it, eh?
Right. Like internally, or your body to recover from?
Yeah, just like emotionally, physically. Because my body just went blah.
Because you pushed it to right to the edge.
Blah. I said, whoa, what is that? Yeah. What is that thing there? What's that hanging over my stomach? You know,
you've almost pushed it to like being a survivor on a castaway island with no
food
like, and no water.
Like, where's Mr. Wilson? You know, it was like, oh, holy hiccup. But it took me ages to get over it. But yeah, now it's like eat to survive, train, make sure you get the balance right. You know?
I gotta be honest, I don't think bodybuilding is something I could ever do, or ever want to do. Really.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because I don't know. I like food too much.
Yeah, me too, doggo. I come from a Polynesian family, right? With the chop suey. I said, oh, mate. The first meal I went to was, we went to Sal's Pizza and had the big pizza, Ben & Jerry's, and I felt crook.
Right.
Felt crook, man.
Body rejecting it because it's so not used to that sort of food.
I was gonski, man. Then I tried to have a drink with the boys the next day because they wanted to celebrate.
Yeah.
That was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a shock to the body. The body just what.
How much weight did you lose?
We started at I think about 8 kilos.
Right.
Because my frame wasn't too bad to start with, so it was just about getting it to a percentage that was going to bring out the muscle. They reckon it was too small
up top.
So I need too
many burpees.
Yeah. I had the burpees in there on my tube. I said, can I still have burpees in there? But the guy who beat me, his shoulders were a lot bigger. But I was leaner. Like I was one of the leanest ones. I was like 3.4. It's nuts,
mate.
Toko.
3.4 body fat.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was like paper. It was like, yeah. I look sick. Yeah, I look sick, bro. I look
shredded.
I just come out of the coffin. So
I'm just gonna pause us there for a second. Shit. This is a really good mix. This is probably the strongest mix I mixed.
So when you can't see it, Togo, that's ready. So when you scoop it and you look through.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when you know it's ready.
Okay.
So if you lift it and you can see through it, it's too weak.
Okay.
How was this book?
It was great.
I said, wait, they do to send me it, bro.
That's what?
I caught up with him a couple of times in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
So, man, send me a book, Solu.
Do you want to borrow it?
I might borrow it, eh?
Yeah, bro,
That's
take
okay.
it. Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Definitely.
He's funny, bro.
Is he?
Crack up. Because we used to play...
Yeah, that's right.
Same year, same age group.
Ofato.
Malo.
We're talking about the Mark Hunt book, by the way. Mark Hunt's biography.
Oh, he's a legend.
He is definitely a legend. So you played around the same time?
Yeah, same time. So he was playing for Market East.
That's right.
And we were playing for Otahu. And there was always that tension between us two teams, you know?
Yeah.
And we had one game, you can testify with this, Mark. One game we had at Walter Massey Park.
Yeah.
And there was a little scuffle on the field. And all the crowd jumped in. So it was all in brawl. Ended up in all in brawl.
Oh, yeah.
So it was one of our guys and this guy going at it. Fun he is. We always talk about it when I catch up with that guy.
Yeah, he's amazing. I've always been a big fan of Mark Hunt. That story, that book is really interesting. The thing that I took away from it the most was the sense of hunger. The sense of, I don't feel hungry, I felt hungry reading it. It talks about his childhood. It talks about the way food was treated in their house. It was something else. It was something else. And it was something that really stayed with me, something that I almost use as like a driving force. I never want my children to feel that. But
so
the starvation and the sense of starvation, no food.
Yeah.
Just
crazy, eh?
Yeah.
And his fear factor, he doesn't fear anybody.
His what, sorry?
He doesn't fear anyone.
No.
You know, so...
Yeah, he has no fear. There's no fear. He's an amazing fighter.
Yeah.
His career was so interesting to watch because he was, throughout the MMA and the UFC, he was always built quite differently.
Yeah.
And
natural.
Yeah. But the power and his knockout power and...
He just...
Almost incomparable.
Yeah.
Hard to compare to anyone else.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And he's just one of a kind on Mark. He'll never back down to anything.
Yeah. So a lot of Pacific Island living legends are still walking around, like yourself.
Well, Ray Sefwell, we're talking about the pioneers, Sir Michael Jones, these guys I look up to. Jimmy Thunder, who passed away, God rest his soul. These are the icons you see on TV.
Yeah.
And you want to be like them, but it's a different sport, but their values just speak louder than words, Ronnie Clark, these guys are. And my mate Tana, Kevin, good, humble dudes, love their family, good values.
Yeah. I almost start to wonder if what sort of really starts to separate them is the self-discipline, what goes on behind or off the field, is really what makes what happens on the field for them individually and personally. Because I'm sure there's countless young people that get offered contracts and stuff, and they're great for the first year and stuff, but trying to get that consistency and maintain that consistency is quite hard if you don't have that work ethic that happens by yourself, away from the field, away from the team. If you don't have that self-discipline of what you eat and all that stuff, then...
I think nowadays with these young kids getting these contracts, they see big Polynesian boys or girls, or depending on what the sport is. And in our case, the rugby or rugby league, big Polynesians, sign them up, then we'll try and nurture them. But they haven't done the groundwork. It's going talking about training on your own. Are you strong enough to face the adversity of the media and in the face training, in the face medias,
everything that comes with it.
There's
the travel, the treatment.
I didn't even know how much that come with being a professional athlete. So it was a learning process, but I was at the best place to learn that, which is in Canberra, because the elite players they had on the team, you can't escape that, You can't escape that, and like the standards had to be at a high. So you either learn quick or see you later. You know, and they talk about the a rugby league career. How long is a rugby league career? So an average, it's like 2 to 3 years.
On average.
On average. Right? You'd be lucky to play 5. Depending on injuries or depending on performance. So, you know, for us, we're blessed to play that long. Because we got balance. Outside of footy.
That's right.
And people that are going to tell you straight, you did not play well this week. And I reckon that's the turning point, is having that group of friends and the family that are going to keep you on your toes. You know, Latai will be the same with Kev, and that's why he's the great man he is. You know, and he's never changed for anybody. That man, I respect that guy so much.
I've had him on here twice.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Great to talk to. He was my first episode. This is my first one.
How many wines did you go through?
No. I asked him what he wanted. He Pepsi Max. That's his. That's his go-to. Yeah. But I felt so bad because the first time I'd done this, the camera died. And we lost about half an hour, I think.
You missed.
But I got him back in. I got him back in again.
Yeah.
We talked again. But so humble. Always insists on removing his shoes at the door. I was like, shoes. Leave the shoes on. He's like, no. But amazing heart. Got a great soul.
Yeah, good man.
Good
purpose.
Great leader, and people like him, people like you are great people that you want to sort of lead a gym, because you know you want leaders to lead. You want leaders to show by example or perform from the front, you know, and show that humility and say. And it's also as well about showing people that it's okay to be humble.
Yeah, shucks you.
Because I think there's also quite a strong mentality out there that you gotta go out there and get it. You gotta speak up for what you want, which is great and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But you still gotta respect other people
Absolutely.
and you know and have quite a humble approach to any sort of conversation as well.
You got to be humble to start with, but then it's what's the purpose behind this meeting? What's the purpose of what we're trying to achieve here? You know, and this times you need to get out of that humbleness to actually go and get it. You know, it's like Kev, he's on the council.
Yes.
So that's out of his comfort zone.
It is.
And it's like, man. But it's for the people. I don't know. It's for the people. So he's trying to change their mindset over there. But you know, I could see myself in the council. You know, it's like some are made for it, and sometimes it retracts from who you are as a person, because they see the Kevin Mialan with the All Black. It's like Mal Meninga went through that, and he went into politics.
Right.
He didn't like it.
Right.
Didn't like talking about himself.
Yeah.
You know, he's a Polynesian, Solomon Islander. He didn't like it one bit. So he stood down from politics. So it's a hard one, but some people are good at it, some are not. wouldn't like to go into their politics. So
Fair enough. It's made for some people. It's not
yeah,
made for
yeah,
others.
yeah.
Each to their own.
Oh. Thanks.
So you're still quite a massive league fan? Do you still watch quite a bit of league?
I don't really watch much league. But,
what about the international stuff, like when Samoa play or when Tonga play or New Zealand play?
There hasn't been much games going at the moment, but I always follow my first team, the Raiders, regardless. You know, I always tap into the Raiders support crew on Facebook, see what they're going on about, and it gets negative because the team's not doing well.
Of course.
So I try to bring them into line, and on a perspective as a player. So I just be straight up with them. I say, well, you got to take into account. You know, there's 12 other players out there. You can't point a finger at the captain. He's trying his best. You know, and you just got to look at a different perspective from a player's point of view. And because he is a person.
Are you talking about trying to convince the fans or convince the players? Convince the fans.
No, the fans. No, this is the fans.
That's a job in itself.
Yeah, man. Charlotte, they're ruthless. But I love the fans, man, and they got their opinions because they love the team. Yeah. And they want to see the team do well. And there's some fans that just give it to like the players. Yeah. So I'm just trying to just see sense because I've been there and done that, and then they see it. They say, "Oh shucks, Ruben Wiki's on here. Yeah. He's commenting on our team." Also, well, that's part of me. Yeah, there's 12 years invested in that, in that green jersey, you know, and I just want to take them through some steps to help them understand what the players go through when they're not performing well, and having them on their back as well. It's just going to make it worse, but that's their point of view. So just
well, the fans only ever see what's on the field.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They don't know what's going on off the field.
Yeah, so I just try to give them a little insight.
On the flip side of that, like, what was it like being part of the Warriors staff when they were going through a rough slump at one point, and even the fans here in New Zealand were like turning on them? What's it like when you're on the inside of that, and how do you keep the players focused off that?
That's a tough one, especially at home in New Zealand. Yeah, you know, they're hot and cold. You know, when the team's winning, they're right behind you. When the team's losing, they point the finger, and they'll be like the All Blacks as well. So, or their Super 12 team, whatever. And they're just real fickle, you know, with the fans, but they're very passionate about their teams. But they, as you said, they just don't know the full story and why they're performing like this. But
must be hard for some players though to switch on and switch off, to try and
nowadays it is
that noise out, because it's
nowadays it is doggo, because
it's all around them.
Or social media, they're always seeing it. They always got the headphones on. There's just too much access to too much too much voices, too much social media. There's just too much.
So what was it like back in your day, like before social media and you're playing?
No papers, no
just
nothing.
Don't read the papers?
Nah.
Right.
No papers. There was no phone. Oh, the phones. Yeah. What's that little snake thing? Which was digital snake. That was it on the games or the phones.
Oh,
there was no photos. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
You had the aerial pull-out phones. So we didn't
and
have.
it would be on the radio as well. Talk.
Yeah, we turn the radio off. Turn it off.
But that's it.
Yeah. So newspapers. We didn't read the newspapers back then, and we just all we can control is as a team, and then as an individual is just performing better than last week. That's all we can do. Not like read into it too much, you know. Oh, this player needs to go, or this coach needs to go. That's politics. That's journos' jobs. You know, we're speaking about that at the moment, about school, about around social media, the media platforms. The journos are they doing the full stories?
No, sometimes it's they just want the headline.
That's what I mean.
People click on it.
That's what I mean. They want the juiciest story, so they'll twist it without getting the quote from that person. So you just got to be careful with media when you're at the top of your game, and asking certain questions, make sure give the right answer, and then don't quote me on that one. But then they do,
Right.
So they'll take that. They'll just find something juicy, and then put that up. Don't worry about anything else.
Right.
And that's the world of social media, bro.
Ruthless, eh?
And like if
comes out completely out of context.
Yeah, and a couple of stars at the moment, Toko, like in the Rugby League world, is out there. Their stories out there.
Yes.
Yeah. So we won't go into, but
yeah.
It's you just gotta kind of stay away from it.
Yeah, but then sometimes I don't know whether this is becomes more and more common, but I'm getting so used to that that whenever I see something that's quite an explicit headline or quite a strong headline, I'm like, but what's the real story?
Yeah,
I hold back a bit. I'm like, but what's the other side?
Yeah, it's like, are you getting the full story? Yeah. We're talking about we're talking about this in sports sociology and their perception of the story and the journo's version compared to the actual person that they interviewed. So it's going to be two flips of it. So it's a weird one.
When you were coaching the Warriors, did you enjoy that side of of coaching rather than playing, or how did you find it?
Coaching in the sense of the strength and conditioning sides, it wasn't too bad. I wouldn't be a coach like Steve Kearney, Nathan Brown. I wouldn't take that step right out of my league. And at the strength and conditioning side of things, it suits me to a T because I'm still coaching, but coaching them to be a better version of them, like putting the armory on them with the weights and the functional stuff with the zoo, adding the zoo element into there. Why we're doing this movement to us, so you can get wriggle out of the tackles and stuff like that. Just getting some purpose around it. And that mentoring as a part of it as well as still coaching, just being a bigger brother, just passing on information, because so much in my head is see people in certain scenarios, and then you can give some good information here and what they need to improve on if they want it, so you need a hand with this. You won't tell them, only if they want it.
I have memories of Conrad at the gym doing gorillas. I think that's when he came back from Tonga one year. You remember this? I remember this. Yeah, came back from Tonga one year. Enjoyed himself a bit too much over summer. But it's good to see that he's doing quite well over in the UK.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about his weight over there.
Doesn't he?
Not really.
Different game, I guess.
Yeah. Hey. It's funny that trip. Before he left, he was 106.
Right.
He come back 116.
116.
Yeah.
How long was he away for?
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Otara and.
Yeah. Well, a lot of our Pacific people, that's the genetic makeup. If they don't work out or anything, it piles on super fast.
Oh, you're right on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like. You talk about carbo loading. We have too much carbs. It's just gonna just sit there if you're not doing anything, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And the sugar as well.
Yeah. And
it goes to certain places where you don't want it to go.
You see a lot of ex rugby league players as well. That happens to them once they stop playing. As stop playing. Yeah. Some of them stop. Well, they stop that high intensity training. They might still go for walks or.
I know, because they've been at that top end of their sport. It's the last thing they want to do is breathe heavy again. Yeah. Like examples like Stacey Jones, elite athlete, mate, and he still rings around people now, and he's just Stacey Jones is Stacey Jones. Everyone's different. And with that match fit that was on just recently,
that's what I was thinking of.
That was an eye opener, man. A lot of those rugby players went through some hard times and just probably didn't deal with it properly. And I think that show brought that out. And who was I talking to? Case Muse. I ran into him last week. So how was that show, bro? I said, what a good wake up call. Well, I said, man, this should be like a everyday thing, being active. So we should do a league rugby one, next.
You You should. You
yeah,
should.
yeah. I was like, yeah, we're keen. Oh well, yeah, right, we got heaps of leagueies keen on that. But and then I asked about the health and well-being of like reunions, All Black reunions. Do you guys have reunions? Because there's so many of you. You know, I spoke about the Kiwis. We have one every year,
right,
to touch base with our brothers.
And when you have that, is it everyone? That's a lot of people.
Yeah, every Kiwi can make it.
Right.
So from the oldest Kiwi, who's 99, to the youngest Kiwi. So and the girls as well.
Right.
So cool, man. Because we lose one every year.
Right.
So we try and acknowledge our Kiwis that bled for the jersey, and just the stories are priceless, mate. The stories are priceless, and it's so good to see the pioneers of our game still kicking it, and you have to. This needs to be a compulsory thing for all sports to make sure they touch base with players of the past. Yeah, you know, because you don't know what's going on in their bubble.
It's 100%. Yeah.
And just check up on them. Yeah, you know. So we're always checking up on each other. You know, Logan Swan's one of my good mates. So we're pretty tight. Motu Tony's at the gym, so I see him a lot. So as soon as you got a number for the Kiwis or All Blacks, you're all like, that's for life, you know. Yeah. And you have to. That's like going to war, and that keeps you connected by having that reunion once a year. So good.
Was it very special for you the first time you played for the Kiwis?
Yeah, dog. Yeah, and it was in Papua New Guinea, so there's league mad over there.
Of course.
And what was I? 1994. So I was 21. Had the mad flat top, no fade. But well, life experience, in Papua New Guinea. We weren't allowed to leave the hotel due to the they're called the rascals. I think they're called the rascals in the hills, right, shooting off guns and stuff. Right. So we were stuck in the hotel for most of the time, and just go to the games, then come back to the hotel. Very primitive, but big fans of Rugby League. Crazy over there. There was tear gas thrown on the field. Jeez. In one of the games. Jeez. Because they were getting out of control, and because we were winning, so they threw the tear gas on the field to control the crowd, because they were trying to, rattling the fence, trying to break it down. Wow. It's crazy. Yeah. And very passionate. Yeah. So we had to go in, get the wet cloths and stuff with the tear gas, and then after the game, walk back to the vans. The vans are just trying to grab us, and get you in. They let the dogs go. The dogs were going hundies on the vans. Whoa! It was crazy. Wow. Whacking them with canes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like borderline. Yeah, it was crazy, but it's changed from those days. Yeah, we've never been back to Papua New Guinea.
Is that right?
Haven't been back
because of that.
I don't know. We just haven't gone back.
Right.
But always remember your first test, and I look back at it and it's like, man, I can't believe I played for my country. But then to do it another 54 times was a bonus for me. Even through all my holidays.
You became the first Kiwi to hit 50 caps. Actually, internationally, I think you're the first player to ever hit 50 caps.
I was the first, and I think I'm still sitting up the top there with Darren Lockyer and Cameron Smith. So representing the Kiwis up there, we're playing some tests.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
Oh, bro. Love our little country, so if I can do that many times and give back to all the fallen soldiers before us. True honour,
Was it surprising for you to see like when the Tongan team really changed and became almost like a professional team, except they weren't getting paid professionally.
Yeah.
But
and they
level up and
beat
start
the Kiwis
to
and beat the Australians.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good for the game in general, to grow the game in the Pacific, and like the depth of the players that were in the NRL that chose to play for their Malo, that chose to play for Tonga. It's giving back to their country. It's only a small country, but it goes to show how much depth of players they had for the Tongan team and the Samoan team. And to do that to the big dogs in New Zealand and Australia, it's good for the game. Massive.
Do you see Samoa pulling off a similar feat?
They have it in them. They do have it in them. You know, there's talks about the Johns brothers and Sonny Bill being the coaching staff.
And do you think that would pull a lot of players?
Well, it might turn them. It might turn the players over. But it'll be interesting how they go as coaches.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it if a lot of the Samoan players shifted over and put on the blue jersey.
And it comes down to the players on the field and what they want to get out of it. And I'm telling you, the Tongan community is the ones that get them over the line massively. You know, the one in Hamilton against New Zealand and the one in Mount Smart against Australia. Holy hecka.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The one in Hamilton, I've never cried watching a game before. I cried watching that game. I was screaming watching that game. It was like nothing I've ever experienced.
Yeah. Well, because it's close to you, because it's your nation, and it's like that. The hymns were like, they were emotional. You know, even for us, you know, it was like watching. It was like I was gutted for New Zealand, but honestly, deep down or something, so it was good.
Yeah.
You know, it's very rare that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it to happen in New Zealand in front of the crowd twice.
Twice.
You got good for the game, man.
Yeah.
Good for the game.
Yeah.
Because I know they're not getting paid that much, but
they just
did it for the country.
Yeah.
You know, and the community is huge. The Tongan community is massive. And do they all live in Odu?
Probably. Yeah, they blocked the motorways, everything.
Wow, mate.
Yeah, I remember that.
Freaking out. Odu special.
What are your where you're at the moment? You know, running a gym, and children are growing up, and you're in almost like a settled place, even though you're very, very busy. You know, but what are your sort of hopes and dreams and goals moving forward? Because I know you've always got something that you want to keep yourself busy, keep yourself moving forward with. So what is it for you?
I think for us, you know, we the span or time span on the gym, we don't know. So going on 2 years now at the gym, and you know the time span, we go for 5 or plus, but depending on us, really. Yeah. And you know, we want to give back to the youth and create a program for the kids, like after school program. So we had one last year and was really good, and we want to expand on that. And I think the health and well-being, the older generation, like your 65 plus,
right? You
know, just keeping them active somehow. So how we tap into that. So I know there's government funding for all of these programs, and I think it's just doing it properly and bringing it to the hay, you know. So, but small goals, just you know, complete this diploma and walk the stage with my daughter. Oh, fun! That'd be funny. And for Santa to finish through a degree and walk the stage and get that ticked off. So just small goals for us, but big in the sense for our gym.
Yeah.
You know, and like the coaches that come on this journey with me at school, to see them cross the stage as well is going to be huge for us at the gym, because we want our coaches to be qualified, know what they're talking about, and they're giving purpose.
Yeah.
To our people when they're taking them or coaching them, because we don't want any, you know, don't want anything coming back on us, you know.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we're ticking the
You're
boxes.
covered of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll be the same with like any other gym, or hopefully.
Yeah.
You know.
We are almost there. Don't know where these flies have come from. They can smell the cover.
We're smelling the lollies, dog.
So it's been a real pleasure to have you on. Thank you. Thank you for coming to this humble garage, sharing a bowl of kava.
Humble beginnings, Toko.
And yeah, I really appreciate having you on.
That's good to see you, brother.
I wish you all the best with everything, your family, the gym, everything.
Yeah, same to you.
Malo.
Into that mic called Mike. Yeah, Garage Drinks with Mike.